All right, so South Africa, as we know, losing millions and millions of litres every year. But how much exactly? It's all got to do with leaky pipes and theft. We know what a big issue that is. And water scarcity in our country is now becoming a crisis. Is it too late? Well, let's discuss how to conserve water with Miles Murray from Veolia Services, providing cost-effective, eco-friendly water management solutions. Miles, good to have you on the show. Really appreciate you coming in this morning. I suppose before we talk about water conservation and water management, we have to try and actually stop all the theft and the water just rushing away from us.
Correct. Gareth, thanks for having me this morning. Yes, we do have a couple of big issues. You just have to walk around your neighborhood in the morning to see what we would classify as non-revenue water streams. What is happening is you have the big water suppliers pumping water to municipalities, and then from there it seems to be fairly poorly managed. So what we've got is a position where the water is not getting to the end user, going straight back into the rivers and then having to be reprocessed again, which is an awful waste. It's an awful waste of people's money, time and energy, to be honest.
And this is where an organisation and someone like yourself has found a gap in this to try and get on top of this. So where do you come in here with Veolia Services to try and mitigate and try and at least save the water, which is not an infinite resource? It's going to run out one day.
Yeah, that is so true. So Veolia is an international company that brings best practices through to South Africa. We have been in this game for over 160 years, not so much in South Africa, but certainly internationally. So what South Africa is going through is not unique to South Africa. It is a problem that we face internationally as well. It's high on our agenda to look into solutions that we can possibly put together. Veolia has always been one that focuses on how we can look after infrastructure firstly and work closely with government to ensure that the infrastructure is in some form of order so that we can come in and help them with solutions.
Where do you start in a case like this? Nelson Mandela Bay, that infrastructure being blamed for what is day zero. There's a bit of an argument. Is it day zero yet, or is it not? The point is, we're having a discussion about day zero, a lot of it to do with infrastructure. So where do you begin? Let's talk about the government side for a second. What do you do? Who approaches who, and what do they need from you?
So we have been approached by government. We work very closely with government. We do water recycling down in Durban. It's one of the more successful PPPs in the country. It's been going, we have run that concession for over 20 years. We basically take effluent from the neighborhoods around Merebank, and we recycle it to almost potable standard. And then we push it back into the industrial sector there. So what we do is we are responsible for the full maintenance of that. So if you look at a successful project in terms of water management, there is one. And that is how we engage with government. They would look, well, local municipalities, so they would guarantee the effluent coming to us, and we would look to helping them on how we can get that raw water or effluent to the plant. So not only that, we also engage with municipalities on how we can help them with their non-revenue water.
How much do we lose on this? I've never heard that before, non-revenue water. Is there a number that you can give me on that?
Oh, I don't know. There's a percentage that says we are losing about 50% of our water straight back into sewage, rivers. It is high. There was an article published earlier this year that put the number just over 50%. I'm not quite sure if it's 100% accurate, but you just need to, as an ordinary citizen, to walk around your neighborhood to see there are water problems everywhere.
The point is that it's losing far more water than we ever should be. So you spoke about industrial a moment ago. What could a residential area gain from something and the expertise that you have there? I imagine you start working with councillors and municipalities. What does it look like from a residential side?
So residential is a little bit trickier. Municipalities have not often engaged with bigger companies like ourselves on how to actually deal with these. There are instances very few instances of successes where municipalities have worked with the bigger companies to look at infrastructure at a local level. So we are very happy to engage, as are most of our competitors in this space. It's really just a function of getting an invite to the table and helping out.
Well, there you go. We're waiting for the invite now. Municipalities, you know, one of the companies to give a call and try and find solutions on this. How did this get so bad? I mean, that's kind of, we're all focusing on it now, but this doesn't happen in the last year, Miles, or the last 2 years. This water problem goes back decades. Why wasn't something done all those years ago? What do you think happened?
I think it's possibly poor planning. You look at the areas that are currently almost at day zero. It's something that it was quite interesting. I was reading an article in a magazine from 30, 40 years ago. These areas have had these scarce resources for that amount of time. And I think it's just a lack of planning. You know, it's easy to point fingers. But there has been a lot going on in this country, and there's been a focus on, you know, we've got housing issues, we've got energy issues. There's only a small pool of money that can be used. So there's no real point in pointing fingers here. What we need to do is, as a society, come together, get the private sector engaged with the public sector and come up with solutions, because this round and round the merry-go-round pointing fingers doesn't quite work. And we've got a burgeoning young population that is only going to put more and more demands on the grid, on the water systems, and we really do need to take some urgent action. So going back to your question, and where did this start? It's just been a slow degradation of infrastructure over a period of time, and we're all kind of responsible for it. We have not had a long-term view, and it sometimes exists even at a corporate level.
It's like a dripping tap that was never fixed, if I can use that turn of phrase very quickly before I say goodbye to you. Miles, how bad is this? Do you think we've passed the precipice? Can we recover from this?
I think we have possibly not passed the precipice. I think there are further challenges. Water treatment is so complex, and it does require a lot of energy and focus from everybody. I think that we've still got some valuable lessons to learn over the coming years, but if we work together, we can certainly solve them.
Yeah, valuable lessons and valuable services like this as well. Water, waste and energy challenges. Here's some solutions for you. Joining us, Miles Murray. Appreciate you coming in.
Darren,
Miles, it sounds like a great idea what you're doing, and the services are there. The experts are there. We just need to use them. Miles Murray from Veolia Services. I'm sure you can go and find them on Google if you're interested. Veolia is the company that you're looking for. It's maybe one solution to